Hi guys, my name's Audrey or Adrian or Adrian or whatever you want to call me. Those of you that have been following Whisper Shooter, thank you. It was just my little attempt at taking all my shooting stuff off my own Facebook and Instagram, because I do a lot of other stuff as well, free diving and stuff like that, so it's a bit of too much in one space. So yeah, I put a post up about a 223 that I'm excited about getting. I finally picked up the license this week, and I went to go collect the rifle from the gun shop where I purchased it, and I dropped it off at the gunsmith where I'm having the barrel turned for a putting threaded for a silencer or muzzle brake, whatever I want to do. The rifle is a Hauer 24-inch bull barrel, and it's actually fluted, so I'm quite excited about that. Well, I'll take you through the little process how I put it together. As I said, the rifle's at the gunsmith at the moment, so I can't build the rifle yet, but I have 300 brass cases. I've got loads of bullets that I've already sourced, and I've got primers, so let's load it up, and at least next week when I've got the rifle built, I can go shooting. So my first step is I've got some brass in, yeah. Now I never de-burred my flash holes on my previous rifles for the first how many 100 rounds, and then when I actually did it one day, I realized that there's actually quite a bit of burr still left, even with these. Sorry, I've got Lapua cases. Quite a bit of burr left, so yeah, I bought this little tool, same one I used on the other on my other rifles. It's a Redding flash hole de-burring tool, and this one specifically for 223. It's got a little chamfered cutting edge at the front, and it's got an adjustable pilot that goes in the neck. So all you do is, or what I do is, put the case in, line it up with the neck, so it's actually inside the whole de-burring now. I can move this into the neck, but it can go hard up, and I'll pull it back a little bit, and then I tighten it up, and that's pretty much it there. Let me just get this done. And then you're ready to go. So I'll do a few cases quick, and then I'll show you the amount of burr that actually comes out of them. So that's one. Oh yeah, the glove is, I've got a thing about shiny cases, so I like to keep them shiny once they are clean, so I kind of work with a glove usually. It's especially humid in this little room that I work with, so yeah, it's I don't want the sweat contaminating anything. So that's, what do we got there? 5. Case number 6. Let me show you. You can see the shavings there, and if you do actually, sorry, I'm in front of the microphone there. And yeah, if you look, especially with the previous cases, I had a look inside, and I could actually see some burr in there. I shoot on my 308, I shoot Lapua cases and Federal cases, and on my 260 Remington Lapua as well. And I've done this with all of them, and oh, maybe it makes a difference, maybe it doesn't. It just makes me feel better about it. So let me get cracking. Okay, I got lazy, so I only did 100. I was actually contemplating, oh wait, I do. I thought I didn't have a small rifle primer pocket uniformer, but I see I actually do. So maybe we should do that quickly. And I mean, I've taken Lapuas out the box before and just primed and loaded them with good accuracy, but to be honest, I'm a bit bored, so let's do this. This is a Hornady tool, I believe, and you just turn your inside outside de-burring tools on, and obviously your de-burring for primer pockets, and this thing is a must if you want to save yourself some time, or a lot of time. Let me get you a bit closer here. Then yeah, get yourself one of them. They work great. Get another one there. Let's go. So I mean, that is actually cutting it a little bit, so let's get them all the same. Usually I never do less than 100 cases at a time. This little machine is great. Saves you so much time. I don't know if you can see anything in there, but it's cutting it a little bit. So while I was just raving on about how great this tool is, it's broke. It feels like a little gear in front, so the spindle just slipped off a gear or something. So let's see if we can fix it. Otherwise I'll be pretty disappointed, because I'm going to do this by hand. I think I just might not. Okay, so what's happened? The gear broke. So you see the gears just snapped at the top. So what I'm going to do is, well, I guess all I can do is remove that one. Just use the bottom two. So I went from a 3-station to a 2-station. So did I apply too much pressure? What happened? What's wrong? But yes, I'll see if I can have those gears made out of steel. I'll replace all of them. Let's try that again. Okay, looks like my other two are still working fine. Okay, so I just flash hole de-burred and primer pocket uniformed brand new Lapua Brass, which I'm sure a lot of people will say is a total waste of time, and maybe it is, but and I will actually test that once I've got an accurate load. I'll load some of these cases with that load, and I'll load the brand new cases out of the box with them, and then we'll see. Maybe if there's no difference, then I won't waste my time with this again. But there's a lot of brass shavings here. I don't know. Maybe I took off brass that was supposed to stay there, or maybe I did get these cases a little bit more uniform. Next step is, okay, I like to just do a quick light inside de-burr on these. It just makes the bullets slide in there that little bit easier. So I'm just going to run these through that. Same machine, I just changed them for inside and outside de-burr. Now I'll do the outside as well, but it's more the inside one that I'm worried about. Just a very, very light outside and inside de-burr. Okay, it's done. So maybe another useless step in the process, but makes me feel better about it. My little machine is broken. I'm a bit sad about that. So let's pack that away and let's prime these cases. But before that, we got to set up the die. Now I'm actually planning on buying a smaller hand priming tool for the 223 because I don't want to do this every time. But I have to set up my I prime everything else with my Forster. I don't know what the thought is on that, but it works for me. Let me get a light in a better place. I think that's better. Okay, so the Forster has three little let me show you the case. Three little plates that hold the bottom of the case in place. So what you need to do is, this is set up for the bigger one now, so I've got to loosen them. Okay, so they're all loosened up. Try and get you a better view. How's that? I'll work on my lighting. Okay, there we go. So we got these little plates loose and they hold the case in place like that. Okay, but we'll forget about them first. We go at the bottom, we got a little cup that actually holds the primer. So it looks like that. Oh, let's get into the light. It's got a little cup and it pushes the primer up. Okay, so we install the smaller one for the small rifle primer. This is the first time I'm adjusting or playing with these again in thousands of rounds. I set it up when I bought it and I haven't touched it yet. I do check the depth of the primers every time I start priming. But other than that, it works like a charm. So the way to do that is we're going to install this little pin to center the case. A little pin like that. So I'm going to install that. I'm going to put your case center. We lower that down so it keeps the bottom pin there. So there we go. So now the case is centered. So I don't know, it's a bit of black magic, but no real perfect way to do it, I guess. Just see that the case stays upright. Tighten them up. And just make sure you can easily slide in and out the case. So that's good enough. Now the only last thing is to check is the depth of the primer. And that we'll pretty much see once we start priming now. Tighten that up. Okay, so we're good to go. So what we do now is I'm going to have to tighten the handle up. I've got a load of cases here of primers. I'd like to put them there. I'm using a BR4 primer, pretty much because it's all I could find. But I use BR2 on my other rifles as well, my 308 and my 260. So, oh well, let's keep keep it steady. Okay, push it down all the way, bring it back up. So if I look at that, I'll put a flat piece over it. That primer is definitely deeper. Sorry, I'm struggling to see in the light here myself. That primer is definitely seated deeper than the deeper than flush. So I know there are lots of theories about this, where some people argue that it's not how deep you seat the primer, it's how hard it pushes up against the bottom of the primer pocket, and that should be consistent. The depth doesn't really matter. It's just the pressure onto the primer pocket should be constant. But I've had success with my other rifles without even thinking about that. That looks perfect. So I'm gonna actually take them straight out of the primer and put them in my charging tray. Just put you into the action. Yeah, so have a look. It's seated deeper than flush. I'm happy with that. Let's prime them. So it's one by one. I'm just checking the first few that come out to make sure everything's good. Get something straight. Yeah, some light through it. That looks perfect. Every now and then I just do a little spot check.